Hello, hello, mis cielitos, and welcome back. Coco is here, and I am continuing Raging Loop, where we've gotten a lot of answers, but still have some questions. And I'm still reeling a bit from some of the things we found out last time. Namely, involving Rikako's reasoning for picking the people that she did. But let's see what more she has to say. And how we eventually deal with the Miguruma, since that's still a big part of Haruwaki's plan. Hello, Ziri. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming. The mountain is Yomi. The darkness is Yomi. Yomi is dreams. Dreams are the mountain. An endless dream and limitless pleasure. A happy, blissful hell. Let us enjoy it atop the corpses of all the people of this country. I want to be with you. For you are the most lovable. She said that with a serious tone. Apparently, a devil had just confessed to me. Oh man. I was actually interested. And honored. But... Don't say anything more, Rikako-san! Someone got in the way. Hello, Xerox. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming. Yeah, that was also a surprise. Like, I felt that the convenience store person had to be important because of how detailed the sprite was. But yeah, never saw it coming that that was Yikes. That was Mitsuji. Ugh. Chiemi-chan. She broke her promise to God? She didn't think I was dead? Several questions came to mind. Why are you here? But that was the first one I could say. I'm the fourth here, sadly. What? Guys. A moment later, they entered. Haru-chan, Mochi, and... Oh... Sorry, Kyonosuke. Rikako-san! Well, what a crowd. Mission 2 had an unexpected development. Nosato-san was all about not leaving Uematsu-san here. So he got off the boat and Haru-chan followed for some reason, so I followed her, of course. I forgot some unfinished business. And that was when I was freed from the curse. They were doing something, so I, who knew everything, couldn't let myself enjoy the afterglow of killing God. So she really had realized my plan. But even so, she couldn't resist God. I left the rest to Yasukun and Takumi-ni-chan, and became the rear guard. That means that the leader of this invasion into the final encounter is you, Nosato-san. Honestly, I feel for you. Rikako-san, was everything you said true? The looping Chiemi Serizawa told us about. Our murder and the monster. Is it all true? Yes, Nosato-sama. My apologies for fooling you all this time. Rikako-san used her usual voice, but that just made it stand out more. She bowed her head. I was actually quite happy that you had feelings for me. It was simply too comical. Don't make that face. You're still more lovable than most. I do not mind making you the bed on which Haruaki-sama and I eternally intertwine. I'm telling you to shut up! You'll shoot me? Shoot! That will complete the final loop. You are the most fitting person to complete the pleasant dream. The perfect hell. Hate me for taking your beloved and shoot me. I will take that as congratulations and create my dream. I see. You killed God, but you can't do anything about a God that reaches completion when it dies. What are you gonna do, Haruaki? I'll no longer support Tsuchigumu Dono's plans, but Chiyo's still a mighty foe. The toxic theories are back on the table, I guess, but I didn't want it like this. Yeah, this one, yeah. Man, that was troublesome. I would have liked this to be finished in secret. Mission 2 became unexpectedly lively. Now, I'm sorry you all had to gather here to hear this, but I still had to say it. I'm thinking of going with her. Everyone lost their expressions. Only Rikako-san looked at me with an ecstatic expression. No. No way! Why? That joke's too far, even for you. I mean, I get him, though. Richan's cute and a goddamn demon lord. That's way too interesting. Rikako-san, please stop! Even if everything is true, there are no joys worth dying for. My, such considerate words befitting a doctor. Your life must have been painful, and your clan must have experienced great hardship. But I don't see the reason to throw it all away and walk the path of chaos. You haven't heard me. I will rise again, complete, and creating an eternal blissful hell for myself. That's not true happiness! I'm saying that I can make you happy for saving me back then! Oh. The boy from back then sure has grown. But it really is comical how you're so invested in your first woman. And how you still have feelings for her. Anyway, sorry. I'll take her. She jumped at me and embraced with the innocence of a child. I love, 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 love you. You'll finally fulfill the gamble from back then. Gamble? Gamble? What gamble, Haruaki-san? Oh, how pitiful. If you cut it out with the unpleasant secrets, the man called Haruaki Fusaishi will trust Rikako Uematsu. Haruaki Fusaishi will believe Rikako Uematsu. I will survive for Rikako Uematsu's sake, while you will survive for Haruaki Fusaishi's sake. I will survive for Rikako Uematsu's sake, while she will survive for Haruaki Fusaishi's sake. And if we both survive, you can ask Haruaki Fusaishi for whatever you want, and I can do the same with Rikako Uematsu. And if we both survive, you can ask anything from Haruaki Fusaishi, and I can ask anything from Rikako Uematsu. And we both survived, Haruaki-sama. And we will continue to survive. I will not let you say that it was just a line to save the Rikako Uematsu from back then. I remember those words clearly. I know. I will consider it a promise made before the Great Spider. Was it that big of a deal? Yes, of course. Break it, and all that awaits you is destruction. Guess I have no choice then. Haruaki Fusaishi-sama will join the Tsuchigumo of dreams and join fates with mine. That is my desire. Now I ask what you want, Haruaki-sama. I will grant you whatever wickedness, debauchery, or pleasure you desire. Oh. What a wonderful offer. That's just... Haruaki-san, you're too nice! Why do you try to save every girl by just saying whatever comes to mind? I guess it doesn't matter if it destroys your body and country, huh? I can't even complain. You saved me too. I can't say anything against Rikako being saved. You idiot! You dumbass! Tieni, calm down. Why are you so calm? You and he also... Well, it is a bit unfair, since I can read his mind and know what shall happen now, but... He only taught me of evil. I will do what I want. I will do what I want without him, and I will just take whatever I want. But Chieni... Haruaki isn't the type of man who'd teach an innocent country girl about evil. Do you seriously believe that a warped scumbag like him would make such a promise? Huh? Rikako-san hesitantly loosened her grip. Then she took a step back. Her eyebrows were furrowed in suspicion. Oh, how pitiful. I'm Haruaki Fusaishi, a graduate student in a Tokyo college. Who's Haruaki Fusaishi? I really didn't expect to be caught doing marriage fraud. Huh? What? Huh? A guy like that doesn't exist. I knew there was something weird about his name since he gave two different... But I can't be sure. Maybe you'll find one if you look hard enough. Haruaki Fusaishi-sama will join the Tsuchigumo of dreams and join fates with mine. Poor guy. I made this Haruaki something-san share his fate with someone. She can ask anything from Haruaki Fusaishi, and I can ask anything from Rikako Uematsu. And he used the I. Well, that doesn't matter right now. I guess it's my turn to ask you what I want from you. Oh, man. Oh. What? She suddenly took a dagger from her sleeve. You really are the best, the worst nameless soldier. I will take this gamble to the next time, if you remember it anyway. The dagger went to her throat. Crap! I had to make it in time! I had to tell her to stop this conspiracy! At that moment, all light vanished. In the midst of that was a scream. It was a scream so scary it seemed inhuman. What? What? I can't see anything. Hey, Mochi, what are you touching? What are you doing? Where are the lights? This was unexpected. What happened? But going at someone with a knife in the dark was just... While I, all talk that I was, couldn't even force myself to act. I heard something heavy drop on the floor. Then something metallic. The next moment, the light came back. Before me, I saw Rikako Uematsu lying on the floor. She wasn't moving at all. Was she dead? No. The dagger was clean and still in her hands. Hold her down! Chamie moved first, then Kyonosuke. One took the knife, the other held her hands behind her back. He was unconscious. What happened? Rikako-san! Rikako-san, are you okay? You don't change, do ya? It'll be bad if she wakes up now. Haruaki-san, what do we do? Let's tie her up and leave her. There was rope deeper in. That's mean. You're heartless, old man. I'm not old. Call me Hassan. And why are you all freaked out? I don't know about the way you said it, but I agree that we should tie her up. We went and did just that. I am... He woke up.
She woke up. What if she bites her tongue or something? Let's gag her.
Please don't be cruel to her.
Hey, if we don't prevent her committing suicide, it's gonna be bad for all of us.
Don't you think that she might have been pushed to this point because of this? Because people treat her like an object or a disaster?
Wow, Uncle's actually saying something good for once.
Rikako-san, can you give me some time? I will admit that I have fallen for you. Hard, I may add. But ever since I saw your dry eyes on that day, I've been haunted by an urge to make them wet. But even so, I can't give up on you at this point. Please let me try and make you happy. He was really straightforward, but that didn't really matter to her. The spider, the Tsuchigumo of dreams, is gone. He said something we didn't understand. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Like, I assume he means he wants to make her cry from happiness, but it's such an awkward way to say it. Huh? Huh? Where are you, Tsuchigumo? My everything. The god who taught me of love. I had no idea why, but I could tell. He no longer had any divine powers or scary conspiracies left. All that the Uematsu family, Rikako Uematsu, ever had vanished all at once. But even so, I ask that you, Rikako Uematsu, abandon the Tsuchigumo's revival and live out a normal, happy life as an ordinary woman, a person. I gave her those cruel words. She began crying. I did feel bad. I had considered taking responsibility for her and taking her with me. But the one to embrace her and console her as she cried was Kiyonosuke no Satoshi, not me. If he chose to take that role, I had no business stopping him. I would just let him have it.
Everything is solved now, it seems. Is that good enough? I'll believe you if you say it is, God. A contract made for a god you would accept takes more than a lifetime to break. Well, Tsuchigumo Dono's seeds of corruption, children, are still within us. But now that I have my powers back, I shall have no problem removing and consuming them. Build me a shrine as quick as possible, Mochi. Okay.
Hey, everyone. I'm Haruaki Fusaishi.
Look at that, the swindler.
Ouch.
I'll still call you Haruaki-san out of convenience. Good. But as a woman, I gotta say that's a huge no. I feel a bit bad for her.
You can't tell me you didn't think you felt she deserved it.
I did. I did.
Such honesty. Well, anyway. Sorry, Rikako-san. Goodbye. Haruaki-sama. You dummy. Mission 2. Dealing with the Master of the Loop, who wanted the monster's resurrection, had been completed. Nothing more needed to be said, even if it gave me things to think about. I still don't know what to say to you. Don't worry. Me neither. Even so, I believe you might have saved her, as well as the rest of us. Seriously, don't worry about it. I probably had better ways to do this. Well, probably. I hope I can talk to you again sometime. I don't want to see his face. Rikako-san. Dummy. Dummy. Haruaki-sama, you dummy. Unfortunately, I find her lovable even when she's like this. Same, actually, but I wouldn't admit it out loud. I shall protect her. I have no right to stop you. Patiently and thoroughly convince her to change her mind. Talk it out with her. Of course. I shall not do anything one-sided, though I will help her survive. Good. I won't let Nosato-sama convince me. I'll bite him to pieces. Rikako-san had become a completely different character.
I suppose we can withdraw now. Wait a bit. There's one last thing I have to clean up. We have to walk a bit for that, though. Alright, Masato-san. Mochi and Haru-chan, you stay here. I think it'll be alright, but look after Rikako-san. I'll make you vomit. If that's the most you can do, then you're not much of a threat. I do not have to come with you. No. I'll tell them everything myself. Very well. Oh, Tsuchigumu-dono. You certainly had your way with me back then. Should I get back at you for that? What are you doing? Don't touch her like that. Stop them, Mochi. Huh? But it's fun. It's your job to look after Haru-chan and God. Boo. Alright. Anyway. Time for the final job. We'll chase back the people coming from the mountain. Help me out with that, Chamie-chan. Mission 3. Dealing with the Miguruma, the leaders of the feast. Now, would it go peacefully or violently? Alright, you swindler. Harsh. This is kind of hard to ask, but... Yeah? Are you bothered by what happened between you and Rikako-san in the past? I really don't remember it. And even if I did, it wouldn't be anything more than a childhood kiss for me. It doesn't count. I didn't know if that was how it was, but I would just assume she was right. I couldn't say anything if she thought that. Well, I guess you don't know what actually happened. Yeah, I think everyone but the Nosato blockhead... I can't really call him that anymore, can I? Everyone but Kiyonosuke-san had forgotten it. Everyone was either dying or dreaming. Mochi probably remembers, though. He wouldn't care, would he? Good point. From what I saw, Haru-chan was reaching a compromise. I think she can handle stuff like that while God is still around. If you're right, she'd probably grow a great big deal by the time it vanishes. Yeah. Though Haru-chan's God was real, it was still a mask she'd made to bear the pain she'd experienced as a child. When we just talked, she mentioned it herself, but the tone was that of God. It was something that she could only say through the voice of God. The wounds were just that deep. The same could probably be said for Chamie. Can I say something too? Yeah. What's God anyway? You didn't realize. I get the general concept, and I know it's scary, but I have no idea what it truly is. And I'd made the right choice calling her here. Mission 1 was way too hectic, so we had to postpone the answer to that until now. God is anything that's right. Rightness seemed like it was tied to intelligence and wisdom, but it was actually a concept as far away from those things as possible. Fixed decisions, preconceptions, obsessions, bases, obligations, and adherence to the old ways. The idea whether something was right or not chained people's minds before they could even think about whether something was intelligent or wise. Thus, mankind was bound by what was right, by God. Sometimes it was so bad even they couldn't realize it. This interpretation of God really wasn't special or interesting in any way. The people bound by it couldn't resist their sense of right and wrong. Someone must have said something similar to that effect already. However, there were two things I hadn't expected. One, God was alive. And two, God could warp into something truly fearsome. I don't see dogs anywhere. The waterway probably isn't open. So they all had rabies, huh? I imagine they couldn't control them if they all did. I'm guessing they're actually dogs who've been trained to avoid water. That was one question I still had. I was like, if these were just regular dogs, why was the water still affecting them in that way? Oh, those poor fucking dogs. I'm guessing they're actually dogs who've been trained to avoid water while simultaneously getting injected with rabies. How would they do something so horrible? Using beasts for their bringers of corruption fit the whole Shinai faith motif, don't you think? The Yomotsu Mujina serving the Yomotsu Okami, and the Miguruma, the ones watching over them, were their primary followers. Was I stupid? No, you're normal. By the way, did you get tested? I did, right after I went to college and started learning. The results were negative. Rabies is one of the scariest things. What a relief. So she wasn't infected. Rabies could linger in the body for a long time, and anyone infected ended up dying. It was a pretty awful disease. It didn't calm me down, though. It could have been a different disease, or it could have been a real curse. What a right way to look at it. What do you think now? I don't care about it at all. Another relief. That alone made the god's murder all worth it. I resumed my explanation. God was alive. Why? Because humans sought what was right. They tried to be right. They all tried to justify their existence, actions, possessions, relationships, and tried to make everyone else see it their way. That was close to human nature. It was the belief that human nature was fundamentally depraved. There was no objective good in this world, but there were things that were right for the era and location. God, basically. People could justify their existence and live on by obeying the god of that time and place. It was something that everyone submitted to in order to survive or live well. It was a byproduct of the desire to live and die the right way. Thus, people would want to prolong the lives of gods that were connected to their way of life. Huh? It's not collapsed.
We made it in time.
So did the Miguruma always destroy this place using heavy machinery?
That has to be it. And since this hasn't happened now...
The path inside. How do they make the mist clear after the feast is done? The mist might have come randomly, but how do you stop it?
The Uematsu had strange powers, so maybe the Miguruma heads do too.
The tower lookouts observe the weather.
Oh, the tower lookouts observe the weather, right? Well, maybe this feast was special because Rikako Uematsu controlled the weather through her dream manipulation. The previous feast endings could be handled by just killing all the wolves on the morning the mist clears. Honestly, they'd messed up with the mist on the last feast, so the system probably wasn't that reliable. Then again, it could have been God pulling something weird, so maybe that was an exception. To them, all that mattered was that the people of Yasumizu killed each other at appropriate levels. They'd underestimated the situation, and this happened.
I see.
God would change. Human society shifted, and with that, so did the standards of right and wrong. There were changes one had to accept whether or not they were good or bad. Thus, God would change, and so would personalities, dogmas, and perhaps even existences as a whole. That could be considered a kind of evolution. Of course, it could mix with the other gods too, and it could be considered breeding. More than that, God was infectious. Rightness was reflected in everything surrounding human life. Words, ways of living, culinary traditions, and a lot more. Construction styles, clothing, art, etc. Those who embodied a certain god, sense of rightness, displayed it with every mood they made. Uh-oh. That's strange. Can you guys still see me? Can you still hear me? Okay, this is very odd. Yeah, that's the thing. So I assumed that something had crashed since the game and OBS just disappeared, but when I tried to open OBS again, it said it was already running. And I can see from Studio that the stream still seems to be on. I can't see the game either, and it's not showing up on my taskbar. What on earth? Neither the game nor OBS are showing up. Hmm. Okay, I can see them in Task Manager, but where did they get to? Oh yeah, VC face I don't see either. Nope, Alt Tab does not bring them up either. Let me see if I do expand on this. Which two? Okay, okay. That is weird. I have never seen that happen before. Like, I brought up Task Manager and they were both showing up there, so I right-clicked on it and it allowed me to expand it on the list, and then I could click Switch to. But yeah, they weren't showing up at all. That was very strange. But I'm glad we didn't lose anything. Phew. Those who embodied a certain god, sense of rightness, displayed it with every move they made. And they also gave this god to those who visited the place or were born there. I wonder if it thinks I have like a... Oh! Yeah, so it just popped into my head. Maybe it thinks I have like another monitor or something. So I just tried moving my mouse to the right, and yeah, it seems to be disappearing somewhere. Weird. And they also gave this god to those who visited the place or were born there. It was like a living being. No. It was like a disease. A virus. I'm not afraid of the mist anymore. We have God on our side now. And both Shinai-san and the Okami-sama are gone now. Little Chiemi doesn't have to be afraid of the corruption anymore. Do revere the new god, though. Don't want her to get all sulky. She's a bit too cute for that. Can I just pamper her instead? Sounds good to me. The rightness that seeded itself in human minds and lives, then multiplied, mutated, and spread to others. Thus, God was alive. It wasn't just a concept, it was actually alive. In my mind, it was like a mind-based organism. Though it could only surface in such a dangerous manner because of Yasumisu and the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Two abnormal setups. But God was dangerous, even if you ignored that. I'd mentioned before that there was a moment when God became dangerous. God was at its most dangerous when its name was forgotten. God was fine when it was revered. God was fine when it was acknowledged. But what if that God became forgotten? They would just recognize it as righteous and stop questioning it ever again.
When distressed, people invoked God even if there was no religion involved. That was what kind of animals we were. Normally, such a god represented only the rightness and goodness within the heart of a single person, so it wasn't much of a threat. However, gods who had been forgotten only had their identities forgotten. They still retained the power to influence people. The forgotten gods, those who possessed nothing but the name God, would be willing to create situations that no one unfamiliar with the god would be able to comprehend. The Miguruma had planned a warped plot that clearly wasn't worth the effort, and could even end them if exposed. And the people of Yasumizu had reluctantly accepted it and gone on to kill each other. That was all the fault of God. Of course, you could say it was directly done by Great Lord Shinai or the Snake. But at the core of it all, there was a fear of death and darkness. The mountain was the darkness, and the darkness was Yomi. The mountain used to be a strange realm that birthed endless darkness and death. Thus, the people here had secrets, could readily murder others, and could hide that from the world. The truth behind the feast was the unforgettable loyalty to God. And that's the reason why you were so afraid of God. Looking back at it, maybe you did the right thing by not letting me eat the food here. In certain timelines, I definitely ended up infected by God. The feeling of having someone other than yourself control you is very scary. You could be controlled without realizing it, but it was actually way more scary if you did realize. You just happened to realize it. That's why you were scared. I can't blame you. Well, luckily you got to meet and talk to God in person this time. All's good. Well, I guess you're right. In the end, people are still controlled by things, but a certain someone did a good job playing God. Since not everyone there could understand the looping, that was the best option. I get it, but that kind of pisses me off. Just about everyone is influenced by others somehow. If you don't want that, you need to be a rebel. Like, you need to rebel, like I do. It's something the person who realizes it must do by themselves. They had no business asking for help with it, or having it forced on them. You've been free from the start, huh? That's why you're scary. You're one who controls. You're on the same side as God, huh? You wanna shoot me again? I only have real shells left, so I won't. But are we seriously walking to Kamifujiyoshi now? Where are we heading, anyway? I actually don't know. Ah! Ah! Hisakuma Miya appeared out of nowhere and swung her bag at us, but we managed to jump back just in time. Mamiya-san! You went back before noon today! What are you doing here? Terisawa-san, and this is... Oh, sorry. I'm the local informant. So it is you! What's going on here? My life is in danger! Huh? What? What is this? Haruki-san? Explaining it would take a while. Sum it up! I didn't want outsiders present for the performance, so I informed them about a potential mystery scandal with the Miguruma and had them leave for Kamifujiyoshi. So it's your doing, huh? everything is, isn't it? Actually, I had Mitsuji do some work, but I couldn't fit that into the summary. Now's not the time for that. What's with those masked people? They had sticks. Is this the Sugisawa village or something? Huh? Is the problem here that blatant? Haruaki, behind you! Oh, hell, Shinai-sama. Seriously? A wolf actor jumped out of the mist, clad in nothing but a patchwork wolf costume. To me, as I saw it now, it actually looked comical, but the power of the weapon in his hand was no joke. He was about to hurt me bad. Hey, yeah, Hashimoto! Suddenly, he was blown away. I heard him groan as he disappeared into the mist again, and didn't get up for round 2. Are you okay? Oh, yes. Thank you so much. But what's going on here? Samira Haruaki-san. A group that wanted to start a murder ritual in Yasumisu went into a panic and started attacking the journalists taking photos of them. I don't understand a bit of what you said. I'll have you explain this later. You think I had to cover you in canned herring? Anything but that. It's fine. It's a chance to bolster your reputation as an ex-occult writer. Why do you know such details? Yu-chan, calm down a bit. What's up with you, Hashimoto-san? I must say, you're way too calm about this. You'll die if you underestimate the paranormal. Well, she's not wrong. Hey, don't mind me too much. Before we talk of the paranormal and whatnot, let's deal with the more mundane threat. Right as he finished those words, several wolf actors jumped out of the trees, making weird screams. In that case, you can't use a gun against an enemy with a stick. And what am I supposed to do? Eat this! A stick flew by her, messing up her hair. A wall of flesh! As Chamie dodged, Hashimoto-san had moved into everyone's blind spot and blasted away 2 of the enemies. Don't falter! The other guy's scrawny and the rest are women! Hey! Drop dead! Probably out of a sense of chivalry, they first went for the scrawny guy. That pissed me off, and hey, it was 2 against 1. Oh no, they beat me! Yeah! This is great. They look so good. Hashimoto-san tackled one, while Chamie-san landed a jump kick on the other, saving me. Hit in the jaw, the wolf was knocked down in 1 hit. The mask fell off. And hey! You look even scrawnier than me, what the hell? Priorities, Haruaki. Ooh, do I have a talent for this? Not bad, little lady. Yeah, she had great legs. Are you okay, Shigesaku? Grr, and we'll kill at least 1. No! Coming in with a killing blow. Amiya-san was actually doing good work, just swinging her shoulder bag around. Did you know that flails are based on farm implements, and they're good weapons that let even women and children kill soldiers? Whoa. A flail's advantage was that you didn't need that much power to hurt with them. But this gourmet writer was so strong that it didn't matter. Was the bag full of rocks or something? All the ones hit in the head were knocked senseless. Shit! Get them! Take them all! Shit, there's more!
There's so many!
They just keep coming!
And I'll keep fighting!
Hey, Unlucky-san, you fight too! Grrr. I hadn't expected Mission 3 to be an all-out battle with this group. It didn't last longer than 10 minutes. Everyone on their side was scrawny, while everyone on my side, self-excluded, were berserkers. Because of that, the dozen or so wolf actors that fought us ended up knocked out on the ground around us. Though I knew this wasn't over. Looks like they want to talk. This problem had a mythical solution. Mission 3. Dealing with the Miguruma, the leaders of the feast. It would be easy if it could all be taken care of by just beating these scrawny guys. But I had to defeat a false god that had controlled this plane for centuries, using weird myths and superstitions. Otherwise, I would be unable to completely free Yasumisu, this village, from the confines of the mists. There were 3. They were positioned and presented in a completely different way than the ones who clearly did the dirty work. Their apparel was fancier, too. They were the great Lord Shinai, Yomotsu Okami, that had appeared before the hanging pine. They were unarmed, signaling that they didn't want to fight right now.
Who are you people?
Loyal to the role, he asked that. You seem to be strangely knowledgeable. They'd seen it with the Eye of Miguruma, huh? Of course, you don't believe you can leave this place alive, do you? That's our line of fake. Her eyes didn't show a hint of hesitation, and her words didn't show a bit of fear. God was dead. She'd killed it. Thus she had no reason to fear or obey or tolerate a fake. One more step.
What's going on here? Depending on your answer, I'll call the police.
Sorry, that'll just make things more messy, so just leave it to me.
You don't look very clean yourself. Let's leave it to him, Kiyo-chan.
Hashimoto-san!
Well, if he does anything strange, I'll just crush him.
I really can't ever beat you, can I? Now, I have a message for the Miguruma from the old god of the mountain. They were shaken. If you understand that, then you must be important members of the family. Listen, the god has awoken again. The Okami and the great god are dead. The servants shall soon vanish as well. Upon leaving, the Okami said that there should be no more feasts. Thus, you have no cause to invade this sacred ground. Leave and tell this to everyone. Great Lord Shinai is no longer on this mountain. The head families will soon fade. Prepare yourselves and wait until then. To my mind, it was possible that they would back out. After all, God was killed and replaced. That was the hard truth. The people of Yasumizu had changed their values and outlook on life. Thus the group that had gained power through God would know this truth and thus lose their power. However,
who are you?
The false god asked that. It was old language. It was a simple question. Who are you? Among the many wolf actors here, the youths lying around us, and the three in front of us, two of which had backed away in a panic, the elder in the middle stood out. His eyes were looking ahead. Beyond that mask, I could see unwavering black eyes and unshaken vigor. This wasn't the strength of a god. It was just the strength of a human. He used it to face me head on. He used it to ask me whether I had what it took to end this mad conspiracy. That was the challenge of the very last boss. Haruaki-san, what will you do? I'd lose if I said something bad. I'd lose if I showed any sort of hesitation. I'd lose if I stayed quiet for too long. I felt as if the mask was laughing at me. Neither are ye god nor divine child, ye be no thing. So why can ye defy God? You are no god or divine child. You are no one, so why can you stand against God? That was a provocation. I knew this well. That was why I'd brought this over. I took it out again. The old wolf mask. The old man laughed. Kagatsuchi, who had killed God while he acted like God. What's he saying? Sounds like poetry to me. Kagatsuchi who killed God while acting like God? You know, Kagutsuchi is definitely a god that killed gods, but it wasn't intentional. He killed Izanami because his body was burning as he was born. He's not talking about that Kagatsuchi. Kagatsuchi... Kagonusuchi. That's a term for someone foolish and ugly. He was cursing and reproaching someone who acted like God and killed a god. Yamato is mountain land, while Narukami was Kaminari, becoming God. The mountain shows no signs of God's power, and the land of Yamato has no gods you can become. We'd already killed this god. After claiming that, saying we would take his place would be just wrong and self-contradictory. That was why the old man laughed. He knew he couldn't back out because of something like this. Well, that was the right idea, considering the Shinai faith's theology. Well, that's very like a Japanese myth. After all, no god had ever died in this country. Exactly. What do you mean, Mamiya-san? Indeed, this was the right time. The border between the land of the living and the land of the dead is the country itself. That's how it was with Izanagi, you know. Indeed, this was the right place. Humans and gods. Everyone who dies goes to Yomi. This god existed. I had to thank Mamiya-san for the explanation later. I put on the mask. Fool. Shut up. Just let me talk. It was a bit pathetic, but I would borrow your power again. My name is Yomotsu Okami. If your argument that Okami is no more, Then verily I, Okami, the great god, can also not be. If ye call it yourself Okami, then just as well I am Okami, the great god, the wolf-faced god that had renegade in Fushiyoshi. Reneged, right? No, this isn't Fushiyoshi, it's Yomi. Saranaga's mists were all around us. The fact that we're both here means that we both died. Then the god would arisen at any time the mist cometh. Then the god would resurrect whenever the mist come. What an appropriate thing to worry about. The solution was simple, though. No, because the mist of Yomi will never come over this mountain again. And why is that? So he wasn't satisfied with a direct answer to his argument, huh? Then let me speak. This is the final story between us. The continuation of your story. After all, storytelling was my specialty. After the feast of the Yomi Purge, the wolves left the village. However, then came the Saranaga mists, and the wolves rose up from Yomi to kill people. The people were scared and killed more and more people they thought to be the wolves' allies. The feast of the Yomi Purge had become a fearsome massacre. But then it was found out that the wolves hadn't actually died. They had just fallen off the cliff, weakened, caught by someone, and locked up in a dark prison. That someone was the snake. Shinai-san had turned out to be the wolves. The snake was using the feast to create an uprising against the wolves. To the wolves, the snake said that the ones who went against God's will were the humans, and continued to tell the people that the wolves were bad. The snake would then wear Shinai-san's clothes, appear before people, and control them completely using frightening words. However, the wolves weren't tricked. After all, the badger, who'd come to the feast late, came to their prison and told the wolves the truth. With the badger's help, the wolves escaped the prison and returned to the village. Regrettably, a lot of blood had already been spilled in the name of the Okami. The wolves were sad that their names would from now on invoke fear and hate among the people. Thus the wolves chose to set things straight. First they went to the dream of a human girl who was born with the blessing of the snake, only to be marked by the wolves and chased out of her home. They told her to use powerful smoke and fire to burn all the guardians. She believed their words, and after lots of trouble, she obtained the powerful smoke and fire from a faraway land. Then she returned back home, and used it to burn down the snake and its fellow guardians. With them at last punished, the wolves took everyone on a journey far away. With that, Mijuna, the badger, and the old god who was once the wolf's servant, and now taking its place as the new eternal god of the mountain. One of the guardians, the crow, was allowed to stay and be the watcher of Yomi to prevent any from rising again. With that, Shinai-san was gone, leaving only humans, the crow, and the new god, bringing forth a new age of peace. The new god occasionally brings the mist as a reminder of the wolves. It's a good mist that protects people's dreams, takes away diseases, prevents fires, and promises prosperity, so the people began to love it when they came. However, misty nights were when gods walked the earth, so the people cleansed, sheltered, and dreamed to not get in their way. Upon seeing that, the new god said, "Well done." And they lived happily ever after. As I finished talking, I felt I could hear God giggle with a bizarre sort of amazement. Well, that was probably good enough. By the way, I'd chosen to say nothing about my daughter. I'd leave that part of the plot to the daughter herself. So, people of the snake, the time has come for us to retreat. Let us pass through Yomi and go far away. And with that conclusion, I took off the mask. The fire of Almighty God should this old snake bring, wherewith should it yieldeth mist, become clouds in the sky and release a rain of... I don't know. Did it work? I don't know. The words were a bit too complex for me, but I think I heard a snake in there. They were whispering to each other for a minute or two. Eventually, the masked old man began moving again, looked up, and spent a few seconds. After a brief but intense moment of prayer, he opened his mouth. Understood. The two seemed perplexed. I told you we shouldn't be doing this in the first place. I know we were raised to not go against the head, but I can't stomach him any longer. My stupid son and late father should know the meaning of karma now. Youngin, sorry for making you act like that. You can go now. We'll take care of everything. Huh? Well... I wasn't sure how to respond. Should I report you? Things would be bad if the healthcare center came. Well, this village might disappear then. What would those without savings do then? I hope they don't go nuts. You're still looking down on Yasumisu? Chamie-chan, that's not it. Fujiyoshi people still need Fujiyoshi. Huh? Wait, are you saying we shouldn't report him? Well, yeah. Wait, no, stop. Don't make me keep quiet about such a scoop. I don't know what's what, but why not do this? Let's watch if these people, the Miguruma, still keep doing bad things and see if we can fix them. But if it looks hopeless, let's investigate them ourselves. Hashimoto-san, what's with the sudden professionalism? It seems very fishy to me. To be a pro is to stay calm. Don't worry so much and just watch. You'll see something in the paper in a few days. Something about a strange event in a remote village. What's wrong with you all? Get up, all of you! He turned around and threw away his mask. I couldn't see his face, but his long gray hair, large neck, and defined jawline told me that he was really vigorous for his age. The fancy mask he dropped made a clattering sound on the wood and gravel. God once again returned to the earth. As if he felt nothing about it, the old man didn't even turn around as he shouted at the wolf actors and left. Oji-sama! I looked at Jamie. The Miguruma have no granddaughters. Now retreat! We watched as the wolves left without showing a hint of divinity. Oji-sama? The current head should still be Jamie Miguruma's dad. So, I don't know. I was told that the previous head lives elsewhere. I never even met him. I heard that after the first feast, they didn't have another one for about 40 years. Oh, maybe it wasn't because there just weren't any mists. Let's stop there. At this point, I don't want to know if there were good people among the Miguruma. Alright. You should think about what to do with Mamiya-san. He really wants to know what's going on here. Ah. Yoko Hosei, I'm actually a fan of your articles. I saw the New Year's Soup Special report on January's Apple page. Huh? Really? You're the first reader I've ever met. Wait, don't change the subject. Well, I'll just tell you as we head to your car. It's probably safe now, but it's hard to walk, isn't it? Well, it is a bit scary. Don't worry, we have a shotgunner with an illegal sawed-off here. Hey, stop! I see you're quite a character. Well, alright, I'll play along. And I will go ahead and take my break right now and get my drink refilled, so be right back. Alrighty, I return. And so... this mighty night passed without any werewolves appearing. Not everyone made it out unharmed. It seemed like a good ending to me. All missions clear. Now I just had to return. I briefly told Mamiya-san about the feast, and that they helped prevent it. Well, she did wonder how I knew about it. I considered telling her about the looping, mostly because it seemed interesting. But I was too tired to talk for that long. That was where I ended the interview. She made me exchange phone numbers, eager to interview me someday. We then met up with everyone in the hall, and we all went down to Saranaga. I looked around for Mako, but I couldn't find her anywhere. Though I noticed that my backpack was completely out of food. Some writing stuff was gone too, and there were some clumsy letters on the waterproof bag. Thank you, Fusayuki-san. And that was it. I didn't get it, but I could only guess she was satisfied with something and just left. I was kind of worried, though. I had no doubt that she would grow up strong, and that no one would ever catch her again. Going down Saranaga on rubber boats was pretty easy. The fantastical mist surrounding us was very beautiful, enchanting, and I could totally understand why the people of the past thought this was Yomi. Eventually, the mist ended, and so did the forest. Rikako-san was watching as the mist grew more distant. She was silently crying. Yeah. I might have taken her side if everyone in Yasumisu were irredeemable scumbags. The moment I thought that, Chimi and Haru-chan pinched my ass like they'd just read my mind. Well, one of them did. Haru-chan supposedly could read minds, but she actually sussed it out herself this time. It'd be hard for anyone who's not Mochi to handle being her boyfriend. As we arrived at a crossroads and got out, I saw Mitsuji waiting for us with 3 four-wheelers nearby. Fuck, you're slow. Sorry. The dream's over, right? Is your sheep back? Yeah, it's all good. Good. Were you worried? I was. Some of the others flipped their boats. I'm sorry, Kami-sama. Oh, she's just a sheep, so don't worry. What the hell you saying? And what happened to the whole thing about being gods? You can reveal it to these people. Oh, really now? So that's why you're carrying the mask right in front of them. Oh, I almost forgot. Nosato-san, I used this for the act, but this is actually a human sacrifice relic I dug out in a small wayside shrine to Yasumisu. It is? There are bones there, too. Clean it up and give them a proper burial. Display them. Do whatever you want there. Understood. Well, I have no talent for archaeology. You'll probably have fitting people come sooner than later. Speaking of which, where's everyone else? They're in a hotel in Kachihara. They'll soon go on a bus tour to Atami. Well, just leave them to me. You really are part of that kind of organization, huh? Heroes of Justice. Wow, I've got an impressive axe. Don't say that, you dumbass. Anyway, you'll hear from us again, so better brace yourself. Huh? Haven't I died enough? Sorry, poor wording. I'll make sure it doesn't get too crazy, so don't worry. Then I'll unblock you. You had me blocked? God damn, you just get shittier by a minute. I'm normal. It's the world that's insane. Oh. Yeah, get in. I mean, are you... Oh, Mitsuji Misamine. My ex, broken up recently. Her job is an ally of justice, and we coincidentally bumped into each other here. What kind of intro is that? Mitsuji, this is Jamie Serizawa-san. She got into a loop hell because of a certain someone, and we dated each other for a moment, so she's the rumored ex. She's also a casual murderer. Rumored? And stop putting all my pain into just 2 or 3 words. Well, that was kind of my fault too, so I have no place to talk. But you're as bad as always, huh? I think dissing me shouldn't become a trend. I just want to go to sleep now. I want to bathe too. I want to kill Haruaki Fusaishi-sama. Oh, well, we can't all get what we want, Rikako. I could go for a steak right now, but I'm not getting it. What are you, the Three Stooges? My apologies. So you're their babysitter. Well, get in. What about you, Haruaki? I know you have a bike, but do you want to ride? No, that's fine. Let's part ways here. I see. Alright. Huh? Dummy. I really don't hate how mercilessly you can be. Stop minding us and just be honest with yourself. Nope. And come pay tribute at my shrine someday, city dweller. Haru-chan, look here. Asan man, you can go now. And bring something good when you get back. See you again. Yes. Tell the others that... nothing. I'm supposed to be dead. Yeah, whatever. Good night and goodbye. I said that. And turned around. Tommy. That was the last thing I heard from them. Then I heard them no longer. Been a while, my beloved bike. Though I'd hop on it later. A power drive, some stream walking, cliff climbing, excavating, acting, fighting, negotiating. No day has been as exhausting as this one. I finally remembered that my hand was injured, but the fatigue numbed the pain. I'd just sleep. I really wanted some sleep. I woke up surrounded by mist. I woke up next to a pile of corpses. As if, wake up already, Haruaki-san, and take me somewhere far away. That kind of stuff wouldn't happen again. Nothing strange would happen in reality. There's absolutely no such thing as werewolves. I whispered to no one. Then I gathered my stuff and left. The place where the convenience store was supposed to be was empty. It was all just forest. Of course, that was all just a dream. I didn't get lost anymore, but I felt like I'd soon forget this road. That was what dreams were like. Haru-chan's whole thing was just a juvenile delusion. Mitsuji's organization was just a public peacekeeping agency. God was purely psychological. There, All of that had to be products of reality. The endless Saranaga, the rotting Yomibito, the few monsters, a certain someone's love. It was all a dream. That was how I'd chosen to look at it. And so I returned to my normal everyday life. One day, a while after that, Mayor of Fujiyoshi Village resigns due to corruption scandal. A pet company in the Kachiha area goes bankrupt. Has to put down lots of dogs. That's it? I expected more considering he told me to read it. After the incident, I gathered local newspapers and mimicked the previous Nosato family heads. Yet these were the only relevant reports I found. Though it wasn't nothing, it would be rash to underestimate this. A village mayor, probably Miguruma or someone related, resigning was something that simply couldn't have happened there before. Even if it had, it would be something that went unnoticed. The people would simply decide it through secret power struggles. This could only mean that there was something a lot worse than just corruption, and this made it out to the public because they simply couldn't hide it all. The same went for the pet shop. If the Miguruma had really used rabies for the corruption, it would be national news. After all, it was basically a form of bioterrorism. Hell, with all the rabid dogs they had, the disease must have spread to other mammals, like rats, according to what I'd looked up. If these rabid animals spread all over, Japan would no longer be considered rabies-free, and that would cost the country a lot. Otherwise, those were just unhygienic dogs trained in a weird way. Or maybe the elitists hid it to prevent panic and loss of resources. Well, there was Mitsuji's job too. I hadn't heard from them yet, and I got nothing when trying to call her myself, even though I sang the Buddha's Ash Rock. Well, whether the government or secret organization, I hoped her group did whatever they had to in the background. Apparently, the situation in Fujiyoshi was stable. There was a mayoral election and the Nosato head ended up taking the post. The reason why they skipped the Higuchi was probably too complicated to release for the public. I was informed of this through an email left by Kyonosuke no Satoshi. He was outside the village right now, along with Rikako Uematsu-san. He rationalized this with his family by saying that he would seclude himself with her and keep the danger that was the Uematsu family away. Bold. He could easily contact his brother, current head and mayor, and get info from him, and I could probably learn more if I contacted them. But this was their problem now. If I went any deeper, I'd just be a rubbernecker. I did find out that life in Yasumizu carried on as always, which was good enough for me. Oh man. Did the fact that I'd been trying to copy the previous Nosatos mean that I still hadn't recognized the whole event as a dream? Or maybe I had some lingering feelings. I could still see her at the edge of my vision. Was it that hard for me to end it? Weird. My flashback was extremely vivid, and still failed to leave me. Yo, self-proclaimed Haruaki-san! Yo. I almost screamed. Almost. Pretty good house you got here. way above what other students have.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, here's a present.
Oh, thank you. Sea cucumber manju? Where do you get this treasure? I'm hyped as hell now. Chiemi-sensei, how did you get in? They are Xerox. They are really big bucks.
Lots of people left just now, so I slipped by as they went out. The outer locks didn't stand a chance. The front door was actually open too.
They always came in droves, so I just left the door open. Sorry, I read that as I was taking a sip.
Friends?
Editors.
I've been meaning to mention that pile of new books.
Complimentaries.
Huh? You're an author?
Kinda.
I saw this one on TV. Oh, and this one in the student co-op. The authors' names are all different.
Which one's the real one?
They're all fake, aren't they? And wait. Haruaki Usaishi. Switch them to get Usaishi Haruaki. Haruaki can be read as Yomei. Usaishi Yomei. Usaishi Yomei. That's Japanese for alibi. You were just messing around, huh?
I didn't. That's my pen name for when I'm barely working.
You are messing around. And wait, you're seriously a famous author? You're a winner at life. Don't look down on us commoners.
I'm actually living in constant fear of deadlines, editors, and writer's block.
What's your real name?
She chased me around my office and study for around a minute. Then...
oh well.
Right. Why are you here?
I asked for your address from Michan.
Michan?
Mitsuji-san.
Why are you two friends now?
She told me over and over and over to forget about you.
Seriously, why are you here?
I've been rejected by 5 companies since then.
Whoa. Harsh.
And there's a summer break at college.
It's that season, huh?
So I figured I needed a change of pace. That's when I remembered that there's a Casanova who said he'd be fine with taking me as a mistress.
Yeah. In a dream.
I don't think it was just a dream.
You sure about this? You're talking to a real wolf who looped around and snagged 3 women along the way.
Oh dear, I guess I gotta stay by your side. I couldn't kill you again.
Big words.
Well, do you think I've become a better woman?
I think you have poor tastes.
Pot me kettle.
Denying that would have pissed me off, so I said nothing.
Point for me, huh?
You know what? First 10 can make the other do whatever they want.
Nope.
What?
I came here to break your rules. From now on, I want to give, not just get. You said that we'd become more and more insane if we worked together, right? So I figured I'll be your enemy instead. I'll be your rival, or just a thorn in your side. What do you think, God?
How bold of you, human.
Joey smiled, stuck out her tongue, and ran off ahead of me. A cheerful, insane, weird girl. That was very scary. And interesting. I'd play along. I'd catch up to her. Put this on, then. Is this me, Tans? I got the bike after we broke up. The helmet's new, too. I see, I see. What? Give me one before I put this on. I've been holding back for so long. Crap. What a surprise attack. If you're gonna say that, guess I'll just do it. Just as she asked, I kissed her. Congratulations, you're the 13th woman to be kissed by this guy. Congratulations, you felt defeated by a kiss for the first time ever and revealed your score to try and save face. Let's go. Okay. Aw, that's so cute. Wow, this is comfy. It's not that fast, though. Put your legs on the step and hands on the belt or the frame. Okay, this doesn't bring us too close, huh? Don't bother me while I'm driving, or we'll be knocking on heaven's door. We're saving that until tonight, huh? Woohoo! Well, that's only if you don't crash and die again. I learned how to do some maintenance. Immediately used it in a book I'm writing. You tend to become really uncool when you're too uppity. Keep that in mind. Well, you keep in mind not to go on random murder spree and kill me. Ouch. That would hurt. I guess we gotta keep in mind that we don't have any resets now, huh? True. I turned on the engine. Let's go, then. Okay! Just as the previous journey led to a dream we could no longer return to, this one would surely lead us to moments so great they could never be repeated. Yay! We did it! Oh, this is so nifty. It is. Aw, yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to look up the translation of the song later. There's still a lot I'm confused about. I feel like maybe if I were to go back at some point, maybe I'd be able to connect some more things. There's absolutely no such thing as werewolves. I will say I am very relieved because for a moment I was afraid they were going to do something where everything was how to say, I won't say unlocked revelation mode. By setting it on in the options, you can replay the game with additional thoughts and flashbacks by Haruaki, as well as added scenes from other characters' point of view. Well, you know, that probably explains why there's a lot that seems to be left unanswered. Huh. Oh.
I'll be waiting there.
Huh. Ending true. Okay, just to... Yes, exactly, Xerox. I won't say the name of this game, but there's one that I played and I adored, like, the first 2/3 of it, and it also dealt with, like, supernatural elements, and then the last bit of it was so god-awful because they tried to make it quote-unquote real. And the suspension of disbelief was just not set up in any capacity, and it just ruined the game for me. So for a moment, I was really afraid they were going to do something similar here. But, like, the whole stuff with how the Miguruma family handled the feast, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I'm willing to accept that as long as the rest of the stuff was still supernatural. Well, let's see what they say here. Hey, Chief. Thank you for coming all this way. A long, long nightmare has finally ended. As an expert in dreams, I apologize for putting you through all that trouble, but none of this would have ever been resolved if it weren't for you. And I never believed that this would all end so cleanly. There was a casualty, but in his case, it seems that it's true when they say heaven's judgment is slow but sure. Yeah, I'm not shedding any tears over not saving that guy. In incidents like these, it's not uncommon for there to be people who are saved at some sad price. I sure as hell didn't expect her, of all people, to be saved when all was said and done. How sad I was set up. I was betrayed. Haruaki-sama, you foolish dummy. But how'd you end up like this? The execution of Haruaki's contract should have been in time, in which case it should have just ended with you committed suicide. That's something neither me nor my main story know. Have you no shame, Sheep-sama? You clearly know, do you not? Well, I'm at a disadvantage. Let's just move on to some explanations. What's that? It's already over, you say? Whoa there, Chief. Did you forget that Raging Loop is the story of Haruaki Fusaishi, the worst quitter in the world? The incident may be totally over, but there's still much for you to enjoy. Yes, very tasteful content at that. Even I, who was tricked in the main story, agree with that. True ending, lovey-dovey road trip with Chiemi-chan. You know, I've been wondering this for a while, but who comes up with those titles? Me. Got a problem with that? No, by all means, continue. It would be rather tasteless for us to talk about the content of the ending here, so we explain solely about what happens next as a game. By reaching the true ending, you've unlocked Revelation Mode. I think you can find the Revelation Mode function in the options already at this point. It's off right now, but you can start it right away by switching it on. Well, let's just see what that is real quick. Whoa, and what will happen when you do? That was the flattest line read I've heard. By turning it on, revelation scenes will show up in the main story. Revelation scenes are various pieces of information outside of Haruaki's viewpoint that were shown in the main story. Mostly the emotions and conversations of other characters. Incidentally, it's displayed like this. Yep, wonder if anyone will see this. Poop, poop, sexy, sexy. No, no. This isn't a porn mag. 3 Yomi and 5 Wit in particular show the thoughts and secret actions of the wolves there, as well as the schemes of a certain mastermind throughout the entire main story. You okay there? Yes, for now I can take off my mask as a fleeting and mysterious heroine to reveal my new appeal as a terrifying enemy full of malice. No, with you it reveals a lot of all sorts of moments of you being a klutz, an idiot, getting into lovers' quarrels, and being a closet pervert. Well, all of that has its own appeal. Revelation scenes contain all sorts of mysteries and marvels left out of the main story. For example, this one. How did I end up as that thing in the darkness? Or what was that living enigma Haruaki-sama thinking deep down? It also details the shameful farce that Sheep-sama and Haruaki-sama kept playing over and over from the start. Is this your idea of a counterattack? It is indeed. First of all, how dare you act as an interface character watching over the whole story from here with a straight face? You're the last one I want to hear that from. Exchanges like that between myself and Sheepsama will also appear in the hint corners and such. Also, by turning Revelation Mode on, the scenario chart will change slightly. It should already have shown up by now, but when you enter each route, there will be a star mark next to chapter squares. That star indicates a chapter with a revelation scene. Make use of them if you only want to read the revelations. Oh, but when I read several of those star marks were colored in. When you enter one of those marked chapters with Revelation Mode set on, the star mark will become a colored star. Well, it's a helpful tool to help find revelation scenes you haven't seen yet. Incidentally, read text skip will stop at unread revelation scenes, so I recommend that for chiefs who only want to read the revelation scenes. I see. So you can fly right past parts you already read and allow you to read only the revelation scenes at your own pace, yes? Yeah, of course, if you want to reread the whole thing, that will deepen the experience even further, but we'll leave the playing style up to the chief. However, keep in mind that read revelation scenes are marked as read when you enter the chapter with revelation mode switched on. The star turning into a filled star does not mean you have read all the revelation scenes in that chapter, so be sure to read a chapter from beginning to end. Also, if you use the jump until the next choice function, all the revelation scenes in between will be marked as read. Like with the non-revelation scenes, please exercise caution there. By reading the revelations scattered all across the story, you can enjoy playing Raging Loop one more time. And there you have it. However, the fun doesn't stop there. You see the extra button on the title screen. There you'll find stories that serve as sequels of sorts to the main story. By completing the main story, extra is now unlocked and playable. When measured collectively, they're of decent length. Yeah, for example, this one here has one about the pathetic life she lives after the main story. Or one about the organization Sheepsama belongs to and that mysterious little girl. Pretty much, go check them out if you're interested. Incidentally, none of the 5 extra stories contain entering a revelation scene. We would be happy if you would show everyone, including me, living their lives after the incident, without secrets Sublove. Well, now the explanation has gotten pretty long, huh? So long as it does not tarnish your reputation late in life, it is fine. Don't talk like this at the end. Fortunately, everyone except that demonic geezer survived. Their stories will continue onwards. Same goes for the chiefs reading this. Everyone, please let my main story self and I flourish greatly in your minds. We do not mind however perverted it gets. Your jokes aren't funny. Well, whatever. At any rate, with this, the case is closed. Ready to put this to bed? Yes. Thank you once again for playing Raging Loop. My gratitude towards you is deeper than the green of that mountain range. Later, Chief. Farewell, everyone. You've unlocked the media player. You can access the media player by opening the album on the title screen and opening this hint corner on the ending list. Represented as the true ending thumbnail picture. Incidentally, this ending may also have a revelation scene, or maybe it doesn't. For example, like this. Wait, what are we supposed to do with this revelation? How about I comment on the revelation scenes of the true ending? I underestimated that girl. I'll be blunt here, and relegating those three into the dream after the fact was a mistake on your part. Well, I needed Teddy-sama for my plan, so there was little I could do about that. But Meiko and Haruaki-sama are another story. However, had you not shown up to help Haruaki-sama, I would have won long ago. I loathe you, how vexing. Well, I'm not scared of you now that you've lost your... Whoa. Oh, almost forgot. I've heard rumors that there is a sequel where Meiko has grown significantly. Some other game where she plays a role. Oh, that's one hell of a rumor. Those interested can check the extra stories or buy the other work to see it for yourself. Oh. Huh. You're quite a go-getter, Sheep-sama. I may not look it, but damn right I am. Well, this should be enough. Shall we end it here? I'll give you your final send-off line. We cannot even rise up again, though. Well, this is not exactly the sort of thing I wanted to say, but I shall do it as a favor to all of you who have read this far. Rise not. Alrighty. Well, I was not expecting there to have an extra mode. I'm wondering how I should tackle this. Alright, so I think what I will do... I will probably record these stories as an extra and maybe go through some of Revelation mode and also record that. Let's see. Huntress vs. Bear, illusion/comedy, the land of the Great North brings with it a trial, a fight with a new god. Bizarre adventure of an unfunny hero and swindler. Okay. Yeah, so I think this will be the final stream for Raging Loop. I will do uploads to get these stories up so people can still experience them. But in general, I will be taking a small break from streaming apart from the annual streams because I have a humongous backlog of videos that I need to port from Twitch and get edited and uploaded. But thank you all so very much for joining me. We do have the Discord that Nightbot sometimes advertises, where I do have a channel for suggestions if there's anything you ever want me to play or share. Hopefully, maybe in like a month or two, I'll be back to streaming. But until then, the only streams will be the annual book streams, which happen on Twitch, 9 p.m. EST on Saturdays. The only exception might be if Silksong comes out. If Silksong comes out soon, that is definitely one that I will immediately be getting to.
But yeah, it's been wonderful experiencing this game. I did like it a lot, and having people with me has made it that much better. Thank you all so very much. I hope you have a wonderful time zone wherever you are, and as always, please do take care of yourselves and each other. Toodaloo-hoo!